Okay, and so here is the garden that I started this year. So I'm going to go in and show you each bed. Here I have the tomato and cucumber and oregano, basil. In fact, there's some peppers that are having a hard time sharing space with my tomato bush. And this is just one tomato plant. It's just kind of, I wanted to put one of the cages around it, but it just kind of seems to have bushed out, and I thought it was okay, but now it seems to be kind of spilling out. So there's a great deal of tomato that is there. And the pepper, so there's 3 kinds of pepper here. There's a stuffed hybrid, there's a regular old sweet bell, and then a mild saucy mama. So, cucumber. So, I don't know if you can see if that's one cucumber. It's really growing large, and I'm thankful for it. I'm not quite sure what I've done to make the cucumber feel so welcome and homey that it can just grow so fantastic. So here we have basil. Had a rough time kind of getting off the ground, but seems to be very, very happy. Here I have pumpkin, and we really put, I don't know, maybe a dozen, 18 I guess at most, maybe a little more. I don't really recall putting a whole lot of pumpkin, but back up here you can kind of see this pumpkin is kind of happy too. And I have laid down some weed blocker, and I'm trying to create the multi-path around it, and eventually I want to do the multi-path around the entire garden, but I guess I wanted to get started here because them being so viney and happy to just kind of flourish and go all over. We do have landscaping company for DC Parks and Rec, and they're not so kind and considerate when they come in and they do their maintenance. So I wanted to create the path so that they'd be less likely to come in and kind of harm my baby's growing here. So here, this is just a bed that has flowers in it. So we have a few zinnias here. I'm not quite sure what this is here. I know it's a flowering plant, but I did not plant this. I didn't put anything in this bed. So this, I don't recall what the teacher planted. And so we have some dahlias, and I have no clue what these are. I think initially I thought they were marigolds, but I don't know. I'm hoping eventually they'll flower so I can see what they are. Looks like something planted because it's just in that straight little row there. And then these are some of the sunflowers. We'll leave some more dahlias back here growing. Bed that never thrived. Bed that never thrived. I tried again. I think I put kale there, did come up. And I just was a bit of a lazy bum there and only weeded half of the plot and tried some lettuce, so we'll see if that flourishes. And then here I have sunflower, just opened up, pretty awesome. That's from behind. I'll make sure I grab a picture from the front. And this is watermelon and cantaloupe. So, see, pretty happy. Kind of going all over the place. Pretty awesome. And then I have some baby melons, some baby watermelons. There's a couple over there. And then I noticed some yellowing of the leaves, and I wondered if, I don't know, if there was some kind of a bug or something that had kind of bored down into there. I know there are a few bugs that kind of like to get into the gourds and make their lives not so easy. And I had 0 cantaloupe, but there I have one kind of sitting back there. I don't know if you can see that now, because that was my initial concern that the cantaloupe were not flourishing. And then the watermelon started to flourish really, really well, and then it just kind of fizzled out on me. And I'm trying to find, yeah, here's one that, my big old shadow might be in the way. But here's one that was growing great, but then started to rot. So let's see if I can find another one. Oh, yeah, here's another one that was doing well. And it kind of started to rot. And this one here, I put some hay under it to kind of, give it a nice bed, but it looks like it's having a rough go too. That one seems to still be flourishing. There's another baby. And let's see. Let's see how you guys are doing in there. Everything in there looks alright, I guess. But, you know, again, I've got some yellowing of the leaves, so it's just a little concern. And then there's one here that was doing super fab, and then we got a little rot here. But interestingly enough, it doesn't seem to have died. It's still, I'm not sure. And then still some babies. So, I don't know. I don't think it's a total loss in terms of whatever it is. It's kind of got them bummed out. But I do want to address whatever the concern is. Come to okay, buddy, there. So that you can actually have some wonderful melons. Oh, that's a new baby. So I can actually have, you know, some wonderful gourds that I can harvest and share with the children when they come back. So, oh, I have one more bed to show you. I know it seems like kind of a lengthy video. Sorry for that. And these are some things that the Girl Scouts helped me plant. So I have some green beans there. And one seems to be a little healthier than the others, but they still seem to be bearing green beans. So I guess that's pretty awesome. And they planted the broccoli. So it's interesting. The broccoli has not given up, but I don't know. I've never planted broccoli before, so I can't say if this is appropriate growth or didn't thin it enough. I'm not quite sure. So most definitely open to some advice on that one. And here is the cilantro. It is beautifully flowering now. I guess for my herb. And I guess I should probably have harvested a little more of it so that I could have used it before I turned it to the next thing. But here is the garden. And any advice that you have, suggestions, I am more than welcome. And there's the front of the awesome sunflower. So there you go. It's my video.